Hey Jimmy, who put the nos on the 252 smokers? What up, my dudes? So, we got something pretty interesting here, guys. I really thought they would have done something about this in these first couple of updates for Legends, but I swear to God, I don't think they have. So what it is it seems as if Legends almost has a little bit of the syndrome that MX vs. ATV Alive had to it back in the day, and I even think Supercross Encore had it a little bit as well. The fact that, like, the 450's extra speed over the 250 doesn't outweigh the benefits that you get from the 250 being more nimble, you know, being more like movable, not so heavy feeling. That's been one of the biggest issues, like back in Alive. I don't think it was quite as bad in Supercross Encore, but I definitely remember it being that way in Alive, where it was basically just faster to ride the 250 than it was the 450. So, but with Legends, I've noticed it's the 252 strokes that seem to be some of the fastest bikes in the game. Of course, I've not done like a crazy amount of testing. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you guys have kind of experienced this. The 252 stroke just kind of feels faster than the 450 for some reason. It's not like a crazy amount, right? But just the fact that you can just tell if, when you get into an arcade dirt bike game, if you've played enough of this shit and it's been your whole damn life like it has been for the Spency boy, okay? You pretty much know almost right away if it's like the 450 is just a clear best bike across the board. There's no potential way that any other bike could be even just as fast as the 450. It's like, you know, the certain games that are like that basically right away. Reflex is one of them. Obviously MX Sim is one of them. MX Bikes is kind of, I mean, yeah, the 450, it just all depends on what kind of OEM bike mod pack shit you're actually talking about, but like there is some of these dirt bike games where it's not always just, you know, crystal clear that the 450 is the fastest bike in the game, hands down. Because I definitely don't think, I think it's similar to Alive. I think Legends is similar to Alive in the sense of, maybe if you got like on a really wide openy, motocrossy, you know, wide corners, maybe the 450 would pull away just a little bit. But if you're on the tighter tracks, Supercross, jumping, bumps, roughness, you're going to prefer that nimbleness of the 250 or the 252 stroke over the heaviness of the 450, because you can't maneuver the bike as good. It's not just always all about speed. And it's like the 450 has, for it to be the clear winner, it has to have such an amount more speed than the 252 stroke or the 254 stroke for it to, you know, be able to make up for the heavier, whatever other kind of little physics elements they add to the handling of it to make it feel more like a heavier bike. You know, it's got to have quite a substantial amount of extra acceleration or something like that. And I just don't necessarily feel like it has that on Legends. Just like I didn't really feel like it had that on Alive. Like on Alive, the 450 would go faster than the 250 on very rare occasions where you could really get the bike wide open on like a flat motocross section, but for the most part, the 250 four-stroke was just better on the Supercross tracks on Alive, and it was better on a lot of the motocross tracks too, because it was just more nimble, better handling. You could do more on the bike. You know, you start to realize, especially if you played games like MX Sim, MX Bikes, it's very much a system of like, the more movement you get on the bike, the more you can do on the bike. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you kind of start to understand. The more potential movement, aka a lot of times the way the physics are to these smaller bikes in these games, like 250, 2-stroke, or 4-stroke, you know, the more movement you have, it just opens up that door to so many more things you can do on the track. And that's just the way it is on the simulators too. The better and the better you get at those games, the looser and the looser and the more movement and the more movement and the, crazier kind of animations you can start to do on the bike and shit. That's what evolves into that sort of, if you can't even move enough to get the bike to do something, then you can't even do that thing that you were trying to do on it. So if you make a 450 too heavy or too worse handling than the 250, then a lot of times it's not even going to be worth it. But of course, there's a shitload of different bikes in the MX vs. ATV Legends. I haven't tried every single one of them. Maybe there's one of them in there that's better on the 450. I'm just saying, from what I've noticed so far playing the game, it just feels like the 252 stroke is just better. As a whole, it just feels better. The 450 may have slightly more acceleration, but like I say, it's not a crazy amount more. Still feels like you can hit pretty much all the jumps on the 252 stroke that you can hit on the 450. So that's not even really that big of a problem. I almost think they might have developed that a little bit or something. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it feels like to me. Like they didn't realize that the 252 stroke would actually be this much better than, and I don't even think it's that much better than the 450, but for it to even be equal or maybe even slightly better, that's big shit, because you're going from 252 stroke to 450 in the game, right? But if they want to make the 450s be clear, no question about it, winners on fastest bikes in the game, they're going to have to give it another 25% acceleration, but I don't know how they're going to do that without, making it where you're hitting some stupid jump on a track that's kind of weird, but that's still okay to have some of that. It's just, I don't know if it's going to match up to their current track designs if they just inject another 25% of acceleration into the game. You know what I mean? So, but I'm just saying, it's something worthy to go in there and try out. Personally, I've been riding the YZ, the Yamaha 252 stroke in the game. That's the bike that I ride in the game, period. I don't really ride anything else. I've went in there and I messed around on the Yamaha 450, the Honda 450, the Kawasaki 450. I've messed around on a couple of the 125s. But so far, telling you, bro, there's something about that 252 stroke, bro. 250.